Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. It is yours truly, Bakari Jamboa. I'm the founder of EY Pele Movement. My wife, Amani Jamboa, is the co-founder. We focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well-being. It is on once again. It's going up in the building. We got a hot topic of discussion for you on this evening. Some may be happy, some may not be so happy. But we're gonna talk about this right here. We're gonna talk about this right here. We dealing with, Umoja tonight. We dealing with to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. And that topic is, should or shouldn't we marry outside of our ethnicity? Should or shouldn't we marry outside of our ethnicity? Please make sure you put your comments out there in the comment area. Okay, we want to read your comments. We want to talk about it. All right, let me put these brothers and sisters back up here real quick. All right, there we go.
I feel like the what the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
on, man.
sis.
It is on. So
Hey, brother Kevin.
What's up, Queen?
Yeah,
Right.
man. Yeah, man, it's on and popping. So I had some powerhouses in the building on tonight. Two faces that you all should be most familiar with, especially our good brother Kevin Dorval, who we serve with down in South Florida. You know what I'm saying? We got our good sister on Mashir, and we're going to give, our family, because they're really not guests, you know what I'm saying? They're really family. This their platform too. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to give them to an opportunity to introduce themselves. And as tradition is, we're going to start with the queen first. So we're going to let Mashir go and introduce herself. And after that, we're going to let Kevin Dorval go, you know what I'm saying? And then following immediately after that, I'm going to have my wife get the mic, you know what I'm saying? And she's going to blaze it.
You know what?
All right, Sister Bashir, you got the mic. The mic is hot, sis. Rock with it.
What's going on, family? Thank you so much for the invite. This is like coming home. So I feel very comfortable here. So grateful to be a part of, the contribution to our culture. I love what y'all doing here at Iwa Pele. It's the movement that I'm a part of. And I am Mashir, founder of the Power in You Unlimited. And my saying here is, when you surrender to your purpose, the power in you is unlimited. I work with women. I'm a creative artist. I'm a creative strategist, work with clients, artists, and entrepreneurs to help them on their holistic journey to the success of their business. And that's who I am, licensed and ordained minister, and just all around spiritual healer. Grateful for, the anointing and the call on my life and the ability to tap in, and to be present, not in my past, not in my future, but just focused in this moment and this beauty that we have right here. So I'm excited to be here. And let's get it popping.
Yes, indeed. Want to send a shout out to our cousin Shantae Gillard is in the building. Thank you so much for tuning in, cousin. What's good, cousin? All right. We got the king in the building. You know what I'm saying? You can't go without the balance here, So we got to have King Kevin Dover, grace the mic. Go ahead, King, kick it.
What's up, y'all? Thanks for having me. It's an honor and privilege always to be amongst you all at IY Pele. You guys have been very consistent, and so blessings to the king and queen. And you know who I am, King Kevin Dorval, 4-time author. I got a dope book coming out called Americans and France's 1,000-Year War Against Haiti. Comes out next year. As a matter of fact, I just came back in town yesterday evening from DC, was protesting, and I had a blazing speech, in front of the White House yesterday. Something that I've been very excited to do for, anticipating for a very long time. So we finally made it happen a year earlier. That's why everybody who's been supporting and donating towards my GoFundMe, Stop the War Against Haiti. And for today's discussion regarding ethnic, dating within our racial heritage and ethnic group and all that good stuff. I have a dope book called 7 Types of Queen and King's Desire. So I'm going to touch into that book a little bit today. So you already know I'm an author, activist, bona fide goal getter, entrepreneur here in Atlanta, Georgia. a dream come true moving to Atlanta. You know, a lot of things been manifesting, and
We miss you.
I miss you too. But you're not in Florida no more. I heard you guys.
No, we love to.
Hey, you had to get out of there, man. I felt like maybe you guys felt the same way. I felt like a caged eagle that couldn't fly. So now I'm flying.
Yes.
And I'm just, thankful. We renovate houses and all that good stuff. So that's how I pay my bills, renovating and mold remediation. And so I think I said enough about me. So, let's do it.
Absolutely wonderful. So now the queen of the house. It is time for
All
you
right,
to
all right.
expound.
I need no introduction. I just want to I just want to dive a little bit into, and we're going to get started just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm Queen Amari. I am a descendant from the Kingdom of Kush, and I'm here as to do what I love to do, because there is a mandate on what we're doing. And our topic was about interracial marriages and relationships and such. I just want to touch on just briefly about the difference between race and ethnicity. And I'm going to tell you briefly what our African ancestors were doing, in their societies. Sometimes we take race and ethnicity and we kind of group them up into, one ball. Race was like, someone's skin color, and it was something different than let me put it like this: the whole idea of defining people that way is a social construct, they say. And what happened was in the 1490 to 1500s, the people were starting to be defined by their race. It was because of their kind, their breed, their lineage, and then ethnicity. It was referred to the common descendant or origin, that the people were grouped together. It was a part of the environment or the clan or the culture that they were in. So around 1700s, that's when the ethnicity was being, used a whole lot. And at that time, the ethnic group meant heathen or pagan. It was something different than what it means right now. But there are a lot of different ethnicities, and the Europeans have made a lot of different races. And you can say that there's a lot of different races, but they really, really have pushed that forward. But during our African ancestors, one of the things that they did inside of their culture is that they married within their own clan, and the relatives of one's mother or father up to a certain degree of kinship. In every African society, people know how they are related to others through blood kinship and marriage relationships. Therefore, people know who is a close relative and whom they cannot marry. The clan system helps in many parts of Africa because often a person is not allowed to marry someone of the same clan. It is believed that marriage to a forbidden person will result in misfortune and perhaps in death of the couple, or more often of their children. So there again, our ancestors married within the family. I'm just going to say that.
One more thing. I love it though.
Yes, one more thing. And when it came down to ethnicity, especially like, say, for example, the Hispanics, a lot of them, 50% of them say that they're Caucasian, and the other half say that they're of some other race or whatever. But it was based upon, just the group, and even the location where some of these people were. And that's the ethnic group. I oftentimes say that a lot of Hispanics some of them are just Caucasians that speak Spanish. So, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I want to tap in. I agree completely. And, when I learned that the numbers that are associated to the definition of race is really legally is the way to denounce our greatness. And it was just a plot to strip away the power of who we are, the legacy of our melanin, because they have definitions to the words black and white. And then the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 that's connected to that is all part of the scheme. Those are just a few of the things that I've learned recently in the past year or two that really blew my mind, because we grow up in Black neighborhoods unconscious of the beauty of who we are, the power of who we are. And when we fill out applications, we are quick to put down Black, and we're quick to put down that number 1 or that number 2 and not know the full definition of it. So I love the intro that you gave, because it sort of sets the standard for the conversation. We got to have a foundation of knowledge, instead of just saying Black this or Black that. Like there's a whole bunch of oppression connected to it.
And yes, and one more thing, ethnicity again was the ideals of the person. That's why I say sometimes, and I know we're getting into interracial marriage, all skin folk are not kinfolk, because the ideals and the practices, we even though we have darker skin, some of us are not together, so to say.
All right, we get ready to kick this thing off. So where it's going to go
tonight?
I
mean, in our Black culture, we had the brown paper bag.
Okay, so the way we're going to kick it off.
I'm for all of this.
What? Oh, she got a delay. All right, so when she come back in, what we're going to do is we're going to start on the actual topic of discussion. So we're going to start the question and answer session to this. And King Kevin, being that the Queens, they already set it off already. You know what I'm saying? We're going to start. we're going to start with you, man, in this regard. So the question on the table right now, family, is should, as a topic asks, should or should we not marry outside of our ethnicity? So we want to hear why not?
Well,
why not?
I mean, if you look at history, whenever a conqueror comes to oppress a people, they usually come and intermarry in that civilization to dilute and to mix in that community so they can have more control and power, so they can practice what you would call neo-colonialism. So, for example, in Egypt, let's say Kemet, let's go far back as Kemet, when the Greeks, the Romans, and God knows who else came to invade, the motherland. I mean, like Cleopatra, for example, she mixed with what, 3 different types of races or, ethnic groups. Fast forward to like 1806 in Haiti, for example. Everybody know I'm marching and fighting for Haiti. It's Haiti against the world right now. Now, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, those who know Jean-Jacques Dessalines is, he was the lieutenant of the Haitian Revolution, and very powerful figure, real superheroes type stuff. And before they became the first independent Black nation, well, after they became the first independent Black nation in the Western Hemisphere, the first and only country to fight and win their independence, they didn't wait on the slave master, they didn't wait on freedom papers. And he wrote his Constitution in 1805. He died in 1806. As a matter of fact, his birthday is October 28th, so it's coming up. And I'm having an event in Atlanta, October 8th. So I just had to throw that in there before I forget, at a museum here in Atlanta. Look out for the flyer. It'll be coming out maybe Tuesday. He wrote the Constitution because he understood about racial discrimination, and they was very conscious about that in Haiti. And he wrote the Constitution: no foreigners can own land in Haiti, right? He actually wrote that Constitution: no foreigners can own land in Haiti. They were the first and only country to actually write in their Constitution that everyone is born free, and they meant it. America wrote that in their Constitution, but they didn't really mean that, obviously, because a lot of our ancestors was in slaves and shackles. But when he wrote that, the Europeans, the French, Spain, America, the Germans, the Polish, they actually married or even violated some of the women in Haiti to get them pregnant, have babies, so that for example, if I'm German, if I can't have land in Haiti, I'm gonna marry one of these Haitian queens, get her pregnant, have her have my babies, and they'll be able to purchase the land. So, like the queen was saying earlier, Queen Mashur, the high say name, Queen Mashar. Can't hear it. It's on mute.
Mashir.
Mashir, like Queen Mashir said, is used as pleasure to meet you, by the way.
Yes, sir, you as well.
No doubt, thank you. Europeans use race as a military tool. It's part of the strategy to oppress a people in the land. And they were very smart in doing that. So they were doing that for a couple generations. That's why you have Haitians in all kinds of colors. You got white Haitians, you got you got brown Haitians, you got orange Haitians, damn near green and red, because all these ethnic groups came in, to get the land. Now the US came in the picture in 1915 and literally, and that's another subject, but they, instead of marrying into the people, they literally re-enslaved Haiti and changed that constitution, as Jean-Jacques wrote back in 1805. So they wouldn't have to marry Haitian women. They'll just rape the women and have the babies or whatever. Unfortunately, so that's the sad part of that story. But they literally oppressed that land for 19 years. Most people don't know that Haiti is a property of America. Now not only did they change the constitution, that land that the foreigners always wanted in Haiti, they literally changed the constitution and then stole about 200,000 acres of land. So when we entertain the whole marrying another race and culture, Dr. Amos Wilson always says it best. I'm a student of Dr. Amos Wilson. He's one of my mentors. He doesn't know it yet. Rest in peace. But he said that for us to marry and to date and have sex with these other cultures, we must have amnesia to forget what they've done to our people. And so I'm gonna leave it at that. And anybody want to chime in, or that's it.
Okay, we'll let Queen Mashir go because she dropped out. So the question on the table is the actual subject matter. Should or shouldn't we marry outside of our ethnicity? Why and why not?
Okay, yeah. This is an awesome topic because in the greater scheme of things, knowing that I am God, because God lives in me. So I am God. I'm loving and forgiving and understanding, and I see the beauty in the oneness in spirit. We're all spirit. You know what I'm saying? Which is like beyond the colors and the boundaries of race and ethnicity and all of that. But we live here in the United States, in this country, in this world that is the total sum of the oppression, the laws, the fraud of the law, especially in this country of the United States. And we have to do something about preserving, first, refinding our culture, refinding who we are, and honoring that. And so, although I love everyone and can understand the foundation of love as being, the soul foundation, it starts with self-love and self-preservation. And my belief is in order for us to love each other and build our families, our neighborhoods, our community, and then throughout the diaspora, we have to have self-love. So in order to do that, I understand the experience of a Black king from a helpmate, woman, mother, sister, aunt, daughter perspective. So therefore, in conjunction and relationship with him, I can see and understand what it is to be Black, what it is to be a builder, what it is to reclaim, what it is to fight for, versus someone who has a different ethnicity. That man's not going to be able to understand me at all. No parts of me at all. He does not know my history, my culture. I'm finding my history and my culture. I have transgenerational grievance and trauma that's never been addressed on a cultural level. And it takes the unity. We lack the unity because inside of the brokenness of who we are as a people scattered throughout the diaspora, there's people who don't even believe that we should. They think it's some Uncle Tom stuff. Oh, you know, you waiting 40 acres in the, like, they don't get it. And I say, I call them bots. And I don't know. We still here? Okay. I don't mean to call them bots, but there are some people who actually are still plugged in to the oppression. They still watch the news every day and believe everything that's on it. And we are a phenomenal and amazing, beautiful people. The price of our melanin is 3-4 times more valuable than gold on the stock market. There's so many things about who we are as Black people that the masses of our culture, especially here in the United States, have no clue, not at all. So in my opinion, I believe that the Black man needs the Black woman in order for us to unify our home, our children, our neighborhood, and our culture. We need that unification. And I'm saying that not in any lack of love towards anybody else on the outside, but we got to heal at home. We got to take care of home. We got to love each other here and get a foundation of who we are and what self-love. I got to love myself as a woman, whole and complete, so that I can be the helpmate God created me to be. And that starts with me understanding my identity as a Black woman, who I am, where do I come from, what are the strengths of my culture that has been stolen from me. And even there are now so many people waking up to find out who they are. Did you see in Florida, they just passed that law to change Black history in schools? It's bad enough that our children are learning how to twerk and not learn, you know, so many issues that we have with our culture. And now here's another plot from the government to keep us from finding out who we are, to keep us from walking in our power. So long story short, I believe that we should stay inside of our culture so we can love, heal, and rebuild our culture.
Okay, Queen, your turn. You're on mute, sweetheart.
As looking at the statistics and everything that you know, I've experienced in my life, and you know, everything that I see today, the statistics say that 25% of Black men marry not non-Black women, and that's on blackdemographics.com, and 12% of Black women marry non-Black men. Now, it's been known that that percentage has been lower for Black women. And just like Monsieur said, we don't want to, at one point, the vast majority of us did not want to connect with anyone outside of our race and ethnic group. And when I say that, you know, I have to speak with some of my friends and things like that to let them know that, you know, our race is, we're African. And what entails African is Brazilians are African, some of them, Virgin Island, Trinidad, Haiti, Bahamas, you know, the Bahamians, Dominican Republic, et cetera, et cetera. But at one point, some of the ladies would only date African-American men. And what that did was cause an issue where there was a lot of women not getting married. You know what I'm saying? They were sitting there, they were waiting on that African man, African-American man. He was getting married, but he wasn't marrying them. So that's why I believe that we should join together as a family, because our community is having a downfall. So now we have children that are being raised without a father, because the African men, African-American men are African men, so to speak. They dropping their seeds off. You can best believe that. So now we really have a society where, you know, we're not together. You know what I mean? We're together long enough to produce a child, but we're not there together, some of us, to raise that child. And, you know, what I dislike is, okay, so you have gone over and you decided that you love someone else, and of another race or whatever case may be, please don't look back and pretend like we're your downfall as a Black woman, you know? So, and that's another issue. And that's all I want to stress at this moment, that a large amount of our Black men and Black women are now interracially dating. And I can expect that Black women will do it a lot more, you know, now, because, you know, they're getting tired.
Sisters, this is to you. What's your thoughts when you see a brother with a non-African woman? You know, two-part question, really. You know, how do you feel about that? And, you know, does it give you low self-esteem? Does it mess with your self-esteem at all? You know, I would love to hear your thoughts. And then, Brother Kevin, after the Queen's answer, I would like for you to answer it from a male perspective.
Sis, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Sure. Ain't nothing they can do to give me low self-esteem. I got mine.
Right.
But
You
know, it doesn't bother me. You know, it does not bother me. You know, hey, like I say, don't start and it won't be nothing. So it doesn't bother me. I don't turn my nose up at them or anything like that. Matter of fact, I have a conversation with them. You know, it's just, and it doesn't give me low self-esteem because it wasn't me that had if there was an issue, it wasn't me that had the issue that caused me to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's not my issue, you know, but I'm here to love. And I'm not here to look down on anybody on their life's decisions, because we've made a bunch of decisions in our lives in the past. So, you know, it is what it is. It don't bother me.
Yeah, you know, and so I have a different perspective. My grandmother was biracial and her father was a white guy, and he was wealthy and well off, and he married a Black woman. They had 3 babies, and for whatever reason, he decided to divorce her and leave her with these biracial babies. And understanding my grandmother's story, you know, he didn't want to pay child support, and this was back in the 40s. And here he was a property owner, a business owner, and this Black lady with these little kids that look so white, it ain't funny. And she took him to court for child support. And he tried to lie in court. This is his ex-wife. He tried to lie in court. And the judge wanted to see the kids and said, "Sir, just pay the lady. You know these are your kids." And so with that being some of my family history, love is love, you know, and for me, it's all about healing, cultural healing, individual healing. When I see a mixed couple, I instantly think that something in this brother was broken, something in him he didn't receive, some sort of issue with his mama, some sort of issue with the status quo of him feeling his masculinity, because there's nothing more beautiful than a Black woman. And to honor the women in the lineage that you come from, that, yeah, may, because of our generational trauma, give you a harder time, maybe hold your feet to the fire, you know, and maybe push in ways I think that a lot of Black women who lack healing may allow their trauma to come in a more masculine way than values and respects the honor of a Black man. So it's a problem of culture that needs to be healing, because it becomes a vicious cycle where now this Black man is going to go find somebody who can be submissive. He's going to find somebody who wants to work with him in a way, because the Black women he's tried to engage with, his trauma, his brokenness, it's just a clash. And it's really what the oppression has done to us as a people. So I don't get mad when I see it, but I'm like, damn, bro, I want to introduce him to some phenomenal Black men to help him understand himself a little better, you know? And I ain't mad at sis. I'm like, you know, she pulled her one, but at the end of the day, he might be mine, or another single sister that's out here looking for a phenomenal Black man. So no, I ain't gonna talk about you, but I see you, and I'm praying for your healing.
You touched on the word that my husband said that he doesn't like, and I'm gonna ask him, why don't you like the word submission? If a Black man is looking for a woman that's going to submit to him, what's your take on submission?
My take is that I don't like the word. I believe that it should be just about respect. You know, I don't give orders. You know what I'm saying? I don't give orders. You know what I'm saying? That is a European ideology. You know what I'm saying? It's not African centered. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's about respect. It's about honor. You know what I'm saying? And I personally feel like if a brother wants a sister to honor him as well, then he needs to do something worthy of honor. You understand? You know, you don't just like certain titles like husband and wife, you know what I'm saying? It's like being a father, but you're not doing your fatherly duties, but yet you want the child to look to you as being a father when you were absent. You understand? So it's like, how can you expect, that woman to look to you like a husband or a king, and you're not doing your due diligence as a king? You're not upholding your duties and responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? So
can I chime in?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so, but then for me, it always goes back to the trauma and the healing, because we have different definitions of words, because my definition of respect and honor and surrender or submission might be something different to someone who's traumatized, somebody who didn't have a teacher, a mentor, a family. And so, I joke with my friends in the hood, you don't really date. He like you, you like him, y'all start talking and kicking it, and before you know, that's your boyfriend next week. That's how it was growing up in the hood. You know what I mean? Before you know it, that's your boyfriend. And in reality, to learn what it is to be evenly yoked and see if you're on the same page with somebody, just out of the understanding of your capacity. If I think respect means talk to me a certain way, but somebody else who got a whole gang street mentality think respect to him is something different. And the way our culture has been so beat up, it's like, what do those foundational words, how can we get on a common page for the definition so that it can really be some growth and development as a unit and as couples, or to merge?
That's
right.
something good. But we want to let Brother Kevin Dover weigh in on the topic as well. Then we'll move on to another one after he answers. You on mute, King.
All right, I'm here. King Kevin in the building. Now, sister mentioned, or both queens mentioned something about trauma, and that's definitely something that's going on. There's a whole lot of trauma in our community. A lot of our sisters has gone, from childhood to teenage to adulthood, it's gone unchecked. And so I've been in the dating scene, Florida, Atlanta, and sometimes I just feel sorry for my sisters. I'd be like, damn, you got a superb man in front of you, serving you, as a queen you are. And a lot of them can't even see they're a queen. It's
Right.
like some women get, believe it or not, some women get offended by you even calling them a queen. And it kind of makes me think about, like, why these NFL players, these NBA professional athletes who making buku money a week, some of them making $500,000, $1 million a week, literally, why they choose to invest in, white women, Hispanic women, any other women but Black women. And not that I ever be one of those guys, because I know there's still some good queens out there that are seeking healing and, from what they've been through. And some just haven't been through anything. They just wait on the good man to come through on this shiny black horse to come and save the day. But I definitely want my sister to get help, get it checked. Don't think because you got
What? Oh, go ahead.
Don't think because you got a nice ass and breast or you know how to twerk.
That part.
Or you can cook, or in my book 7 Queens, I talk about women crowning a man. Matter of fact, I keep talking about the book. Let me just show it so people know I really do have a book called Seven Types of Queen King Desire, which is a compare and contrast of ancient queens with women of today. This is my bestseller. It took me to London. That's a whole other story. But I talk about in this book how, you know, some women, not some women, most women don't know that when they crown a man, when they're giving him head or fellatio, whatever you want to call it, she's crowning him her king. And there's a lot of STDs being passed that way, sexually transmitted diseases, but also sexually transmitted demons. So a lot of these Europeans, I want to say all of them, but many Europeans, their roots, actually all Europeans, their roots are from a lot of demonic rituals and spirits and et cetera, et cetera. And so you inheriting that, you know, you crowning this man, you riding him, you having sex with him, you're cooking with him. Some marriages, some cultures rather, when you feed a man, you make that's marriage. You kissing him, that's marriage. You have sex with him, y'all married. So it's like if you transfer that to the United States, a lot of y'all married with all kinds of men. And a lot of these men, unfortunately, a lot of our men are just grown males. They're not actually real men.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They don't know, they don't believe or know how to protect a woman, protect their family. They rather go buy and spend their money on Jordans, alcohol, throwing money in the strip clubs. So it's a lot of work to be done within our community. And we want to be in love. You know what I'm saying? We well, real men anyway. We want to be in love with a woman that we can build with, like what you two got. You know, that's what I aspire to have. You know, to be able to raise my children in one happy home and defend our community and show the rest in the community like what a family really represents. Like I like to refer back to Kemet a lot because they had statues of, and I can't remember the names of the pharaohs and the queens, but they had statues of them standing together, sitting together, you know, on the throne together. That was a power of imagery, you know, and you can use the power of imagery for good or you can use it for bad. You know what I mean? Like people like Hitler, he used imagery to use it, you know, the propaganda to annihilate a whole nother ethnic group. So we definitely need to get more marriages, more happy married families in the community. Our family, you know, the community we suffering. Right now, I just seen in the news, and I barely watch the news, and I forgot how I came across this. Maybe I watched some videos in the morning on, I follow a pastor named Reverend Ike. I don't know if you guys ever follow Reverend Ike. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of his work, I just love listening to this guy. You know, he has so much confidence. He gave me a lot of confidence. But somehow I came across this video that was after I watched one of his videos one morning last week about now they have a new Amber Alert for what they call Ebony Alert. You guys heard about that, the Ebony Alert?
No.
I first heard about it years ago when they were trying to introduce it because, you know, you all know I'm an activist in the community. So when things are impacting children or the youth, you know, I'm in it. So there were a lot of complaints some years ago about how when a black child is missing, you know, there's barely any news coverage or even an Amber Alert. But when a white child goes missing, the whole community, the news, the Amber Alerts, you know, gets out. Matter of fact, I got 2 Amber Alerts to date. But the Ebony Alert is because there's such a high rate of black children and black women, specifically black women, you know, getting missing and abducted, that they're introducing this Ebony Alert to put out there. So when a black woman is missing, they'll go ahead and start, you know, doing some procedures to try to locate her as soon as possible. I say that to say this: black men aren't protecting our women no more. Like our women are out there on their own, and it's troubling and it's scary. And not only just the women, but the children. So when the man is not there, the marriage symbol of marriage, or the couples are not there living together. The mom leaving the kids by themselves. The man is out there doing whatever, jumping around, sleeping with different women, or out there hustling, stealing, slinging dope, whatever. The children are left alone. They're being abducted and being kidnapped, sex trafficked. I mean, it goes all kinds of. It's a conundrum of BS happening. So it's imperative that we get back to black love in our communities. Like seriously, like I mean, we are at risk of being annihilated as a people. And then you throw in interracial marriages, which confuses the kids, you know, the community even more, because now it ain't no black and black. It's black and white and black and Arab, black and Chinese. So our healing and our self-discovery, when we get together and we start hitting one another, I know we can make something very powerful happen. That's all. Thank you.
It's all about healing. It is all about healing.
Absolutely. So we're going to go on to the next question. What's your thoughts about a person who says is not your business? Like they feel like, you know, yeah, and they feel like, okay, I can do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And Sister Michelle is not throwing no shots at you because my wife and I, we heard some content in regards to this. I just want you to know I throw no shots at you, sis. You know what I'm saying? So we heard a discussion, my wife and I, and the brother who was married to a Caucasian lady, he was like, well, I'm not accountable to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my business. I marry who I want to marry. You know what I'm saying? And his reserve was he felt like that just because he did it, there's a pool of African men. So his mindset was, well, how is it that I'm hurting us and it's only one of me, and there's all these hundreds of thousands of other African men? So this is where this question was deriving from. So I would love to hear all of your thoughts. Okay, ladies first, of course. Queen, you haven't been saying that much. So I want to hear you, and then we'll roll. We'll roll with sister. We'll roll with Sister Bashir after that in regards to this. So again, the question is, what's your thoughts about a person who says, after all that I just passed, what is your thoughts on, well, it's not your business?
Well, I just want to start out saying that there's an all-out campaign to get our brothers to marry interracially, or to look back at the Black woman and the Black community like we're nothing, to degrade us, to call us out our name, the whole nine, all of that trauma that's inflicted upon us just by our own Black men alone. And this is, and what we're seeing from one another as women also is the evidence of being beat down, being talked down to, being mistreated from sometimes when we're a baby, we're a child. I mean, some of us got some traumatic memories back when we were toddlers of being treated and touched and all of this other kind of thing by the same Black men that we're supposed to, marry or to warm up to. So the trauma again started at the house even before we left. But as for a Black man saying that it's not my business that he interracially marries, nah, that's your thing. You know what I'm saying? That's your business. But here's the issue. I wish we had caught it before it had gotten so far. Some of these guys and some of us, we belong to such environments where, we're mingling together like in college, or, and we don't see anything about it, or, being raised in certain neighborhoods and things like that. And we don't see that it may be an issue within our community if you do, go ahead and step out or what have you. But it can cause a problem. We're dwindling, we're losing people, the man and the woman. But as for, again, I don't feel like I'm not worried about anybody who's interracially married. I just wish that, just like you, Bakari, or my husband, I just wish that they had come into the knowledge of the truth before they spread their royal seed all over the earth with anybody but their own. And like I said before, the issue that I have is, if you're gonna go ahead. Don't try to traumatize us anymore with any of your decisions. And if some of the women are anything like me, I'm the one that say, I'm glad you're gone. So now we don't have to be traumatized anymore. That's somebody else's problem. Y'all gonna get the same man that we had, and that's y'all issue. But there are some very, very, very good Black men out here that love, exactly, that love Black women. And just like, you know, I think all of us had the opportunity to date and meet people of, you know, of the same race or the same ethnic group, and discover that there are some people out there, but there's some good people that's just not for us per se. You know what I mean? It's not where you just get on the first thing smoking. You know, you have to have that compatibility and things like that. And just knowing Jesus is not the only thing that you need to be compatible about, or just, you know, because somebody know how to do it, you know, have sex real good. That does not mean that they are compatible in the area that you need them to be. And I think that's where we, you know, kind of miss it. You know what I mean? And so, but for some of us, I know now, not only is there an all out campaign to get Black men to interracially go out there, there's an all out campaign for women, Black women, to go out there. Now, my thing is this right here is that I say, you know, you can go to Haiti, you can go to Bahamas. Bahamas got some nice men. Trinidad, you know, it was going on down south. Jamaicans, yes, a whole smorgasbord of Black men. So there, it seems like, and I don't know where, you know, they live. Sometimes you live in a community where there's just not a lot of us. You know what I mean? A town and everything looks dull and dim, but it's a whole world out there that you should be able to connect with and things like that. But I just say that as for it being my business, I'm not worried about it. I just wish I'd have called him before.
Queen Michelle?
Yeah, sis, there's so many things that you touched on that I'm total agreement with. You know, the bottom line of it is understanding the beauty of who we are, you know, and yeah, it's my business. Because I'm watching how our culture is being destroyed. I have 3 daughters, 32, 28, and 26. And I was out of high school when I started having my babies. I would love for my daughters to find phenomenal Black men to, you know, continue to build our culture and go out into the world. But getting back to trauma, because my conversation is going to always lead to the healing that we need. Sometimes a man can't see the value in himself, so he doesn't understand or see the value in her. He's looking for the chick that is just going to give him some easy skins when he pull up. Who's going to cater to my broken self-esteem? Who's going to build me up and make me feel good? So I'm going to find the lowest of the low in my culture, who's most broken, that can make me feel like a king without any accountability to who I need to be. Or I'm gonna dip over here to this white chick who's dingy as hell, and I can jump in her head and spin her. She ain't got the inner city, you know what I'm saying? Slick understanding that I have. It all just goes back to healing. Yes, it is my business. So if all I can do is a each one teach one, if I can pump out content and information that's going to inform and empower, if I can make sure that everything I do is a blessed example, and there's more women, older women, mature women that are learning how to heal themselves. Because you marry what you attract, who you are. So if you broken and you tore up, you're going to accept the broken, tore up dude that's showing up. Don't matter what part of the diaspora you're coming from. A man phenomenal, beautiful and healed and holistic wellness can show up. But if you're not holistic healed, you're going to find something wrong with him. You're looking for the dude that's going to appreciate who you are and your brokenness and make you feel good. So it's my business. I'm going to say something. I'm going to always try to show up and do my part. And I'm going to try to stay connected to people like y'all who are doing the same thing, spreading the goodness. When somebody can learn something and walk away with a chunk of information and now they're thinking different. Now, when they pick up their phone, they're not going to World Star. They trying to Google and research something that inspired them in a podcast that they saw. That's the movement I'm trying to be a part of. So it is my business.
Amen. And to add on to that, when they said it's not my business, when you're in a position of power or leadership and you have thousands or if not millions of people looking at you or watching you, like athletes, political figures, mentors, CEOs of the conglomerate companies, Fortune 500, yeah, people are watching you. Young kids are aspiring to be like you. So being a Black man and you in a magazine and you got a white wife, a young Black king or a young Black woman, might look at that magazine, be like, you know, I want to be like him or be like her. And since you with somebody that's non-black, maybe that's my way to win and be successful in his life, to be with someone that's not of our, you know, our heritage, our culture, or ethnic group. And it's you know, it's unfortunate. Like King Solomon,
easy.
huh?
I said whatever's easy.
Yeah, whatever's easy. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, you know, some of our peoples are hard headed, you know, but you know, once you get past that wall, I mean, it's like smooth sailing, you know. King Solomon had what, 400 wives, 700 concubines, or something like that. Now he's a perfect example of marrying out your race. All these wives, you know, and when I read that without really even being conscious or understanding what I was reading, growing up in a Christian background, Baptist church, and becoming an adult, I'm like, before, you know, I really became conscious or woke, so to speak. Like, man, all these women, they had been driving him crazy, you know, like, because I know how, you know, my mom was with us, or how my girlfriends was with me growing up. You know, 95% of all my girlfriends were black. I've dated 2 Asian females that while I was in college. I dated 1 white girl when I got out of college. Well, she was a grown woman. But Solomon had, you know, and I had to have those experiences. You know, they were cool women, and I wasn't really, you know, thinking about, oh, I'm dating outside my race, and these are the enemies. Like, I wasn't thinking like that. I was just thinking about, you know, having fun, getting out there, and you know, and that's what it was. I had a great time with them. We have fun. Like I have fun in all my relationships, but now I'm more about being serious and building. But Solomon, that literally drove him crazy, and he lost his mind. As I mentioned before, you know, you're entertaining these different spirits that these other people are heavily involved with. You know, some of these women are witches, real witches, not just another word instead of calling bees. You know what I'm saying? Some of these women are real witches, and you know, men are warlocks. Some men are warlocks, which means, you know, they practice demonic rituals. They believe in the devil, satanic things, etc., etc. And King Solomon got involved in that, whether he knew it or not. And sometimes we don't know what the person we're dating are into, what kind of spiritual some kind of bond that, you know, kind of bondage they're under. We don't know, and so we dating them, you know, because they got a nice car and clothes, and they talk good, and they got all these followers on social media. Oh, this is the guy for me, or this is the woman for me, and literally, you know, they send you up to take your soul. So we really got to protect ourselves. I'm a true believer, and this has nothing about, you know what I'm saying, my Haitian culture heritage, or maybe it does. You know, I don't know, but I'm a true believer about, you know, investing in your mind, body, and spirit. You know, all my life I ran track, played football. I'm 43 years old now, so I'm not running track and playing football, but I'm still working out in the gym. You know, I pay attention to my physical body. I pay attention to my mental. You know, that's why I write and I read. God knows how many books I got. You know, I mean, I might have like 1,600 books. I kid you not. I read. I'm an avid reader. I was reading while I was up there in Washington. You know what I'm saying? Going there on the plane, coming back, you know, on the road, reading. So I invest my mentality, and I pray and I meditate so I can protect my spiritual being. You know, because King Kevin is short for Warrior King Kevin. You feel me?
That's right.
I'm a warrior. You know what I mean? So, that's definitely has a lot to do with my Haitian culture. You know what I'm saying? Heritage. But so I advise everybody here, if you learn anything today, definitely invest. And I'm sure you all picked up something from each and every one of these, you know, royal individuals here. Invest in your mind, body, and spirit. You know, really take the time to, you know, you might think you got it all that in your head. You know, you may not. You may think your spirit being is strong. Or you may think your mental, your spirit, and your physical is strong, but don't think that because one part is weak that you don't have to pay attention to it. You know, because you may overcompensate for one area, you know, because you know you weaken the others. So definitely invest in reading, meditating, praying. If you believe in God, the higher power, creator, whoever you believe in, you might believe in your dog. I don't know, but believe in a higher power, invest in those things on a daily basis, because not only does it make you a better person for the world and the community and be able to fight these, you know what I'm saying, the white supremacist system, but it makes you a more attractive person for your mate, you know, the mate that you hope to have and maybe the mate that you have now. It makes you a more attractive person. That is my 2 cents.
So you're on mute, I think. But so, Kevin, can I ask you? So you're saying, because I made a comment, all skin folk is not kinfolk, and all skin folk are not the people that you're supposed to be. And based upon what you just said, you want to make sure, even if they're skin folk, that they, are kind of on the pure side or trying to get pure, or you don't want to mix and mingle with things that you don't know of. I'm sure some of those tribes and things like that Solomon was dating, they were skin folk, you know what I mean? But there was a difference in ethnicity. There was a difference in culture. There was a difference in thought process, so I just wanted to reiterate what I thought you were saying. Is that what you were saying?
Definitely. If as long as your partner is working on themselves, then and they're of the same, ethnic roots and background, then it should be all good. Now, Solomon, I can't say that all of them were black, you know what I'm saying, or of African ancestry, you know what I'm saying, because the Edomites are somewhere from the black, what is that, the Black Sea? I'm not, you guys familiar with where the Edomites were relocated on the map?
No, I know that the God of that time told them not to mix up. That's all I know.
Right. He told them not to mix up and not to go into them. And that's all he was doing. Solomon was in and out of damn near everything.
He was getting
so I googled it. It said the Dead Sea Basin is part of the border between Israel to the west and Jordan to the east. So but that was just one group. It was several groups of women, that he was dealing with, and it literally drove him mad. Like, he literally went crazy, and lost his empire. So, I just don't want our kings to lose, their empires, the empires they're building, because if we let these Edomites into our empire, and some of these white devils into our empire, they're really they're crush it and destroy it. We've seen it time again in history. We're seeing it right now. Look what happened with what's his name? The actor who's with that white girl, and he was supposed to be
Jamie Foxx.
Who?
Jamie Foxx?
Not Jamie Foxx. It was a young cat, man. Nathaniel something. Nathaniel.
I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about. It recently happened.
And he lost a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I think $20 million, or some crazy number like that. But he played in several movies. You know what I mean? And his name is I met him. I actually took a picture with him in Buckhead at the mall. I can't think of his name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. He plays in that show, on HBO, Lovecraft Country. You guys ever seen Lovecraft Country?
No.
If you haven't seen that,
I get your point though. I feel
yeah. You definitely want to watch that. If you guys never seen that show, and there's a lot to do. His name is Jonathan Majors. That's his name, Jonathan Majors.
Okay.
He lost tons of money. OJ, Wood. What's the golf player name?
I think Dr. Dre too, if I'm not mistaken.
Dr. Dre. I don't know about I know Dr. Dre. Actually, Dr. Dre used to beat up his ex-wife.
Oh yeah. Dr. Dre lost a lot of money in his divorce. Yeah. He had to give her a lot and some rights.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what I mean? So
we got a couple more questions, so let's get these questions out.
Go ahead.
All right. So we got, do you think it's betrayal? We want to start with the queens. Do you think it's betrayal when a man marries outside of his ethnicity? And I wanted to also add to that, like what Brother King Kevin has said, like, he really didn't feel that way at the time. You know what I'm saying? When he did it. I did it too back in the day, before my mindset transition. Now, I didn't marry, you know what I'm saying? But I did it, because I was like a flower child back then. You know what I'm saying? I'm being honest, I went international. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you get curious and you do stuff.
He was out there, huh?
Out of curiosity. I was single, man. You know, I was single. I was like, man, I wonder. But you know, I was.
Let me go on mute.
It's the truth. You know, I was a bachelor, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like Jamaican, Hispanic. I was trying to go all around the world. I wonder. But anyway. It's the truth. But you know, in all seriousness, though, get the, you know, for the question on the table for the queens is, do you think it's betrayal? Whoever want to go first.
So I do believe, you know, I don't know why everything that I'm hearing and in all of the parts that I want to deposit and add, it all leads back to healing. Yes, it's definitely betrayal, but it's betrayal of oneself, especially if you've never had self and you've never loved self. Like you said, before you got to a point where some reality came to you, before you woke and came to yourself, like our culture comes from the brown paper bag. You know, so anything that looks almost white, we've been desensitized not to love the beauty of our culture. Anything that's light and bright and almost white is what it seemed like you got to get a couple notches under your belt as a young Black man just to show that you got it like that, you know. And I mean, is it betrayal? It's the innocence and ignorance of growing up in our culture. I can't really say it's betrayal if you know. It's betrayal if you're accountable. It's betrayal if you've done some healing and you understand what's going on and you choose to not stay inside to rebuild. Yeah, then that part I think is betrayal. When you want the easy way out. And I say the easy way out because, yeah, you marry and you attract who you are. So as you're growing and you're healing, you're going to attract someone who is growing and healing. And together is where you leave and cleave and you start to begin to build. So if at that time you choose to build it and you know the state of our people, you know the brokenness of our culture in the United States, not even to talk about across the diaspora, in the unity and the love that's needed, and that's the choice you make, it is a sense of betrayal. Because how are our little kids going to learn what it looks like without having enough examples? We need a whole bunch of families that look like strong, culturally empowered Black families. So when you look at your next door neighbors or the folks across the street, you see, and I'm not knocking same sex, I'm not knocking none of that, but lately it's just so convoluted that when you look at your neighbors, nothing looks like a strong, unified Black family anymore. That the definition of that has expounded to hold so much more. So yeah, it's a in my opinion, in order for us to get to where we need to go, we got to self-love, self-heal, and then do what's right with that information once you get it. Find your tribe, find somebody that's going to love you that you can unite and build with. And be the example. Be the example.
Amen.
It definitely could be looked at as betrayal for a number of reasons. You know, I know we're just finding out who we are. You know, a lot of this stuff is brand new. And just like you guys said that, you know, you were out there dating people of different races and things like that. And, you know, at that time, you just didn't know. A lot of this is straight ignorance. It's the way that we were raised to look at things. And it would be betrayal to me if a melanated person would lead and just look back at us as if we're nothing and nobody. You know what I mean? So they have arrived. They've actually put this other race above who we are and everything that we stand for. And I also think that it's quite sad also that a lot of the wealth is leaving our community and going somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's about the wealth for me. You know, like I got a lot of friends on Facebook that are interracial and things like that. You know, they're happy or whatever the case may be. But when it all boils down to all of these millions and billions of dollars that could have been in our community, could have been helping us, it's being transferred. The wealth is being transferred to someone that's some ethnic group that's already rich.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, my turn.
Why, yes, yes, it is.
Yes. She took the words. Queen Amani took the words right out of my mouth because I was going to say, Amani. I'm sorry, Queen Amani. I was going to say that, as we were talking, I was thinking about Mahomes, who was the quarterback for Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. Now he's mixed, right? Black father, white mother. His wife is white, and he doesn't really, if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't really associate himself with being African American. You feel me? And so his loyalty is to the white side of his family, and he confirmed it by marrying a white woman. Now this guy's one of the top players in the NFL. If I'm not mistaken, he gets paid maybe 16 million dollars a year. It's a substantial amount of money. Had he had a black wife, she would have had him investing in the black community, black programs, and building the black community. LeBron James and his wife, perfect example. He's heavily invested in the black community and somewhat mixed community as well, but he emphasizes reinvesting in the black community. And yes, I feel like it's absolutely betrayal, especially when you go back into history, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not. But there's so many examples of how black men betrayed their people because they were mixed. They chose to go with the white side. I'm always going to be referring back to Haiti because I'm engulfed in, my book, Americans and France's 1,000-Year War in Haiti. Get ready to go to Haiti. God willing, in a couple of months, if not going to Ghana. And in Haiti, for example, this president, I want to say President Boyer in 1826, he signed an agreement because he wanted to be connected with France so much. You feel me? He wanted to be connected and have France be their protector so much that he went and signed this deal to pay France 150 million francs for the freedom of Haiti, even though we fought and won our freedom. So he didn't have to try to offer them no money. So that sounds crazy. Well, I'm gonna pay you because we fought for our freedom and you lost property. So we're going. Ain't nobody lost a war or nobody won the war offered to pay the loser money because they lost property, and the property was us, by the way, our ancestors. And so 150 million francs, which crippled the economy of Haiti, but that's another story. But it was that white in him. Now he was President Boyer and Jean Pichon, they both was mixed, mulattoes. And so their commitment was to the French, to the white part of them. Same thing, look at Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas, Justice Supreme Court, white wife, anything that could benefit black folks, he went against, and he always sided with the side of the whites. He's definitely a sellout. There's no doubt about it. I can't believe they're even entertaining the thought of building a statue after this guy. You know what I'm saying? Because if they do build a statue of this guy, and there's some kind of group that wants to blow that statue up, I'll volunteer. Because this dude was a straight out sellout. They just got rid of
affirmative action. Field trip. We all go.
We all gonna ride up. You know what I'm saying? And blow that thing up, man. Like we should have blown up Andrew Jackson. What's that president of Jacksonville? The governor of Jacksonville named after? Is it Andrew Jackson?
Andrew Jackson.
Yeah. They got that big horse of him. I just seen it again in front of DC, in front of the White House. That big him on a big statue on a horse. This man killed so many black folks and indigenous red men, thousands, about 1,000, and they got a big statue honoring him. They're going to blow that up during George Floyd protests, but the CIA and everybody, the national security, stop people from blowing that up. We need to start standing up against people who oppressed us, get rid of the statues, the names of the streets and schools and all that. And so, and that will show black folks who confused about who they should marry and be with. Like, look, man, this evil culture. We should not be part of this. We need to stick with the black race so that we can build ourselves and be strong and protect our women and children. I'm big on protecting my family. I know you are as well, King. And you know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that a lot of our women are so twisted in their minds, so beat up in their minds and spirit that they won't even let us do that. They gotta make a damn ebony alert just because there's so many of our queens missing and gone. Man, we definitely got to put a stop to this, man. We got to, because our queens are too valuable, they're too precious, they offer too much to the world. You know what I mean? And if you ask me, Black women make the world go round.
I say, I agree. We on our last question, family, for the night. Our last closing question, please be brief with your answer. All right. And then after that, we're going to close out for the night. So the last question on the table is, what's your thoughts about men and women of our ethnicity that cross over and they have a negative reasoning about why they did it? Like they justify why they did it, saying that there's a lack of quality African men, and saying there's a lack of quality of African women. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Again, please be brief and straight to the point. After that, we're going to close out. Starting with the sisters.
So I applaud the oppressors for following Carter G. Woodson, how he wrote about the levels of oppression and the way the subliminal oppression was laid. Because to me, right then and there is the answer. Most of the men who think like that and who have behaviors like that are just rolling off of years of the generational trauma and ignorance and the lack of understanding of how to deal with their emotions and the internal side of who they are. And what changes that is these examples of phenomenal Black excellence being shown in the world. It's sad to say, but somebody's vision or viewpoint, or there's a large percentage of Black folks, Black men and women, who, unless they see the example, and the goal is to see the transformation. They want to see the bag and see the money and see the success, and then to understand the healing and the journey that it takes to get to that. And so to see those success stories and to hear of the people in transition of that healing, in my opinion, is the only thing that's really going to do it, because there's so many levels and years of oppression that folks is like been settled, not just settled in it. They done built the home and the crib and they ghetto superstar in it. And their identity and their confidence and their self-esteem is rooted in all of the false lies of this generation of subliminal, oppression, humiliation, and degradation of the beauty of us. And they'll argue you to the ground that they right and it's all good and it ain't me, and check out them and get out my business. And it's just a lack of accountability for the brokenness of our culture and their own accountability for self. So I commend you guys for being who you are, and you too. My brother, my king over here to the left of me, to the left of me. Like I love that it's an example for folks to follow,
Man.
All right. You asked if they had a negative, about the ones that have a negative opinion about us. Is that what you said? Because I wrote it down, but I got caught up. I wrote it down.
Come back.
I just want to know where. I just want to encourage those Black men that are out there that have decided to keep a Black queen, to speak with their brothers and the people that surround you. I know we have this platform or what have you to reach who we need to reach or what have you. But I just encourage you guys to continue to be that example so that your brothers can see. I have a 30-some-year-old son, and he seemed to have been very diverse at one time. And I was just wondering, and at that time I wasn't as woke as I am now. I was just wondering, would he take the path of a different ethnic group? But he brought home a beautiful Haitian woman, and it's been a pleasant deal. I got 2 beautiful grandkids out of it. But as for them looking at us negative, I don't like it. Go ahead.
The people that I've met, like I have a couple of friends of mine who have either a white wife or a Hispanic wife. You know, I never like, downplay them because of it or make jokes of it. You know what I mean? I'm conscious of it because obviously this person they married, they invest in this person. So, hey, I can't hate on. I'm not gonna hate on you. You know what I mean? But I definitely don't water down what I'm trying to say if this is what I'm trying to say regardless of the topic. But my good friend, I'm not gonna say his name, down there in Florida, and one up here in Georgia, actually two up here in Georgia. But the one in Florida, he was telling me that, you know what I'm saying, he got tired of arguing with black women. You know what I'm saying? He gave up on black women a long time ago. You know, they're too argumentative, non-supportive, according to what he was saying. And I was like, well, it can't be all women like that. But he's saying maybe not all, but this is what I've experienced. When I met this white girl, I mean, she helped me with my business. You know what I'm saying? She was on point. She was helping me, like, before I can ask what if I need something, she was on it. And I was like, okay, I can't hate on you because he's an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Like, he's getting money. You know what I mean? And it's a lot to do with the business they started together. So, I mean, as far as for me, I've had some experience with women who are about their business or at least helping you and what you would, helping me in what I'm doing, but not to the point to where, let me wind and say this. I thought that's what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I thought, okay, I need a woman to help my business. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go get the money. But now that I'm at a position to where, you know what? I'm making money. You know what I'm saying? As long as I got a woman who can make me happy and we can make each other happy. Not make me happy, make me happier. Because I'm already happy in my life.
Already happy.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be content. But unfortunately, black women have a bad rap. And when you see these antics on social media, in the news, being loud, obnoxious, twerking everywhere they can. I mean, makes our women look like animals. So, but I understand, over 70% of black homes are raised by single women, and some women, black women, are just content with that. Okay, so what? I'm a single black woman. I'm raising kids by myself. I could do it on my own. Man, ain't no way in hell raising kids by yourself is meant to be. You feel me?
Exactly. I don't believe it is either. But
ain't no way. I do understand some men ain't about nothing. They ain't about shit. You know what I'm saying? But some men are, there are men out there who I think is worth trying to see. Hey, can we work this out? Some women, same thing. Can we make this happen? You know what I mean? And get back to being peace and harmony, because we losing, y'all. Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Amos Wilson, and so many others was warning us back in the 80s and 90s. Hey, if we don't tighten this up, this is what's going to happen. Our family's going to be left unguarded. Our children are going to be raised by the system, raised in prison. And we're looking at that right now. So, you need to have a call to action to at least just tighten ourselves up, and like Queen Mashir, is that how you say it? Mashir?
Yes, sir.
Blessing. If we can go ahead and just, really start really intentionally focused on building a black family, getting black on black love back on point, we better, or we're going to lose. The black community will be non-existent. You know what I mean? So that's what I want to say.
Well, I'm going to say this one thing, because, it's a lot of black women that suffered a lot of traumatic experiences, and which has caused, and because of our culture and things like that, that's some of the stuff is just cultural, of what we do. But a lot of these black women, just because they were traumatized by a black man, did not decide to go to another culture. Now, should they expand? Maybe maybe they've gotten a clue. No, they're not sitting here waiting on you. Why don't you go out and you expand? So now a lot of women are expanding. Now, I told my husband, me and him don't agree on everything, but I taught relationships, and it was like weeping and gnashing of teeth in there, the women. And I was like, God help these women, but if 25% of your men are marrying outside of your race, what are you supposed to do? Sit in the house and just wait? Or wait till your hit man come by and then you get pregnant from him, and then now you're raising a child on your own? It's time to expand. I'm not telling them to go to the Caucasian or whatever. I'm telling them to expand maybe date somebody African, date some other melanated person. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and a lot of this disgruntledness that women do display is simply because of the trauma and the hurt. I can speak for myself. I was in a 25-year relationship. I tried to make it work. You know, I had 2 kids and things like that. But what was I supposed to do? You know what I mean? If a man was abusing me, I tried to stay. You know what I mean? And then I had to go and get some healing, and I dated other guys, but you know, they were good guys, but they were not what I was looking for. But a lot of this, a lot of these reactions are because they, like I said, they're reactions. It's because of some actions that have happened to them. And like I said, some of the actions happen before they can even talk, before we can even, you know, walk. You know, there are traumatic things that have happened, and some of the women are single because of some of the aggressive behavior. Now, I'm not talking about all men, because there are some good men out there. That's but me. Some of our choices as women, sometimes we get desperate and we get on the first name smoking, and then you find out later after the good sex that you really don't gel, and so now you got a child, you got to break up. And then now, you know, it's like, okay, so now you the baby mama, you know what I mean? But I still don't advise anybody to stay in a traumatic relationship just for the sake of staying in a traumatic relationship. All of this stuff got to get checked out at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? To know where their mind is at, his mind is at, or whatever the case may be. And we won't have a whole bunch of these children without fathers. Now, there was also, and I know it's time to go, there was also something that said that we were aborting all of our children and things like that, you know, and we weren't having these kids. But what do you, I don't support abortion or anything like that, but the situations that we're getting into is causing issues. That's it.
For real.
Wonderful. This definitely was a fulfilling topic. You know, thank you, Queen Michelle. Thank you, King Kevin Dorver, for coming on. We greatly appreciate it.
Can I just have one nugget, like under a minute? She sparked something that I just want to touch on.
Under a minute.
Yeah, I just want to touch on it. So the bottom line to all of this is truly healing. And we've touched on that so many times, but in reality, the relationships are never going to work if you're broken. And if we can look back and see the last 60, 70, 200, 300 years that melanated people have been on this continent, in this country, have been oppressed, it all starts with healing. So, you know, that each one, like something that that this king here said, I'm 51 years old, but I'm doing 1 to 2 miles every other day. And I'm a vegan and I eat healthy and clean. And I'm doing everything I can for the mind, body, and spirit, because I wasn't taught spirit. I was given church and Black culture. That's what I was given as my identity, is church. So now that I'm healing myself and living in a holistic lifestyle, I have to be committed to my healing. So now I'm attracting higher and better people, and I'm connected to higher and better people. And if each one of us can stand to do that, holistically heal, then collectively we are adding to the culture. And that removes a lot of the context of this conversation, because I know what I'm doing. And now we can look up and down the row houses in our streets and see that, you know, better relationships, better, you know, couples, better community, because we're all healing. So I just wanted to add that. I'm out.
Right on, sister. You know, that was powerful. Hey, family, thank you all for tuning in. You know, thank you know, my queen as well, you know what I'm saying, who always is here to love and support. Appreciate you, beautiful. And we want to thank you all for tuning in, everybody. You know, make sure you check out King Kevin Dorver. Make sure you check out Queen Michelle. All right. So please check them out. Let me move this out the way so you guys can get a feel of them. Okay. So there go their information. All right. Up there at the bottom of the screen under their names. Go check them out. You know, as you can hear, they're two empowering people, very positive. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, you would definitely learn something. You would definitely grow listening to them. You know, go check out their literature that they have. Make sure you tune in to their speaking engagements and show the support. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. So family, thank you all for your comments. Thank you, cousin Shantae, for tuning in. Thank you for Sister Darlene for tuning in. We greatly appreciate both of you continued love and support. We appreciate y'all. And also our good brother, we gained another brother out there. You know, he on the team now too. Brother Bobby, man. Brother Bobby, right? Thank you so much for tuning in, man. You've been tuning in here lately, so we want to show you some love. We don't take it lightly that, you know, you come and support the ministry. So we pray you spread the love, you know, help somebody else out. We pray you have a blessed rest of your evening, and may your week be the same. Peace.